Hi, I'm Catherine Diorio. This week on Check Please, attorney Alex Dravilas says as far as he's concerned, the verdict is in on the coolest, most innovative, and tastiest Italian in town. But artist Adam Thomas says that restaurants' culinary canvas should always include wonderful wine and cheese. And luckily, he knows a perfect place. Up first, talent manager Alicia James says she's always happy to shell out a few bucks at her latest discovery. She says for sensational seafood and much more, join her for the food and fun at Boston Fish Market.
Some people be like, oh, come here, try Boston Fish Market, and then they see the quality of the fish, and I think it opens their eyes.
All fresh fish coming in. They expect nothing but the best. You name it, snapper, grouper, halibut, swordfish, fresh salmon for New Zealand, Scotland, Norway, Iceland.
The portions, everybody just goes crazy for it. They just love it. They can't believe, oh, is this for, I ordered one portion, they think it's like 2 or 3.
They love it. They say, wow. I mean, they see the plates,
Yeah.
and when they taste the food, they ask me for couch to lay down. They relax.
Never a dull moment, and it's never the same job every day. Every day is different. Never boring.
It makes you feel good. When you see somebody eating, it makes you feel good. You know what I mean? Make you, happy.
I just want them to spread the word and tell them how great the food is, and hopefully they come back.
So Alicia, you say you're crazy in love with Boston Fish Market.
Yes, yes, I love it. I love seafood, and the massive proportions that they give of seafood is exceptional. Now, do not expect to go there and get any steak or chicken.
Okay.
It is completely seafood. They got the shrimp, they got crab legs, lobster tails, just whatever you want, they got it. Lake fish, perk fish, smelt, whitefish, walleye, they do the po' boy, scallops. They have so many different types of seafood. My husband's gonna make fun of me because when I eat and I'm happy, I tend to like do a dance and hum. And when we were there last time, I was eating my shrimp going, and he's like, that's so cute, but don't do that.
You know what? I'm a seafood lover like you.
Yes.
And it's like the mothership. It's like, all are welcome, come into the light. I mean, when we were waiting in line, the runners were going by, and I was kind of like, whoa.
Yes, when you see the plates come out.
And that salad, that Greek salad is this big for the half order, and you can get it without lettuce. And I had enough for lunch the next day,
Yes,
and I was
yes.
so amazed. I mean,
Yes.
every bite was amazing.
Well, Alex, you went out there and you were somewhat surprised there's kind of a Greek flair to the
Yeah,
food.
I walked in and you hear the bouzouki music playing and everyone's got the little aprons. I'm like, what the? I thought this was just like a fish market, full-on Greek restaurant, like Greek wines, Greek beer. I was stunned.
Louis Chakoyas is the owner. He's Greek, obviously with that last name, so that's why there's definitely this Greek flair to the restaurant. And he came from Greece, worked in Boston. That's kind of where he got this fish bug, so to speak. So there's actually a fish processing facility in the back,
Yes.
which is why it's so long. And they process almost 500,000 pounds of fish a week.
Oh, wow.
And they supply restaurants, supermarkets.
And I guess it's because they are the whole food distributor with the fish and the seafood. And I guess that's what makes it great. And then they season it. And I mean, it's nothing that you're gonna go in. It's a fine casual dining restaurant. I mean, you're gonna go in, you're gonna be in a line because there is definitely lines depending on the days you go.
Right.
And depending on the time of year you go as well. But you're gonna go, order your food, and you can either sit or you can leave. And you just enjoy yourself.
Well, let's talk details. Alex, what did you eat there?
When I went there, we started out with a couple of the appetizers. We did the scotadaglia, which is the potato and garlic spread.
Okay.
We also did the saganaki, the fiery cheese. I think the saganaki was probably the best I've ever had, though the potato spread was like not garlicky enough for me. I was hoping for a little bit more kick to it. Then we got a bunch of sandwiches. I was there during a lunchtime. The sandwiches were enormous, like you were saying, Alicia. Everything there, it comes in portions that will stun you. The mountains of fries
Yes.
with like lemon and malt vinegar, beautiful. The sandwiches were just stellar. I had the fried whitefish, so I think it was tilapia.
Yes.
That thing was it was kind of falling apart in my sandwich, but every bite was heaven. One of my friends had a lobster roll, and he's like, "What is this? This is not a Maine lobster roll." I'm like, "No, everything's Greek, dude." So you're gonna have those different spices in there, mix it up.
Yes.
The shrimp is, I think each shrimp is about
Yes.
that big.
Colossal. Colossal.
We had the oysters Rockefeller, which I normally have like regular oysters, but I'm like, oh, we have to try something different. They're like this big, each oyster, and I mean, it was amazing. Then we had the lettuceless salad with the cucumber and the tomato and the feta and the olives, which was just amazing. I could have just had that alone. And then we had crab legs and then the grouper. It's like, the portions were amazing. And then with that, you get this wonderful rice and vegetables, and I don't even know what they seasoned the vegetables with.
Yes.
It was like potato, cauliflower, and they were seasoned beautifully.
Yes.
Very Mediterranean or Greek, and it was really good. I like the clientele too. I mean, there was young and old.
Yes.
There were families. There was kids running around. I mean, it was like the gamut of everybody.
Yes.
And everybody was there because they loved seafood, and it was something that we all kind of like enjoyed at the same time.
Alicia, you've been there several times. Have you ever gone there when the weather's not nice? Because with the traffic they get there, I imagine that the interior can become pretty crowded. Has that ever happened to you?
Yes, it can get crowded. And I know the last time I just visited recently, we came in, no line. By the time we were leaving, the line was out the door.
They have a huge patio outside. It's bigger than, maybe twice as big as the interior of the restaurant. And it's just so friendly out there. I mean, the weather out here, you can be there maybe March through November, and it's just beautiful. You know?
Absolutely.
So Alicia, you chose Boston Fish Market. Sum it up.
A suburban fishery seafood gem that has exceptional seafood offerings and will appease the appetite.
And Alex?
For enormous portions of Grecian seafood, head out to Des Plaines to Boston Fish Market.
Great. And Adam?
You'll get great portions for the price, and it's fresh all the way.
You can sample the seafood for yourself at Boston Fish Market, 1225 East Forest Avenue in Des Plaines, 847-803-2100. Open for lunch and dinner, Monday through Saturday. Reservations are not accepted, and the average tab per person is $20. Alex Dravilas has eaten at more than 500 restaurants, but one spot always keeps him coming back for more. He says for a delicious, honest to goodness Italian experience, head to West Town and join him at Charlatan.
I mean, they should expect to eat some pasta for sure. You know, you can go to pretty much any Italian restaurant in the city, get yourself a red sauce, get yourself a linguine and clams, get yourself an Alfredo, and we want it to be a little bit more than that. We want it to be a little bit more thoughtful than that. It's a little bit more modern, local, seasonal, you know, stuff like that. So, you know, all the buzzwords you normally hear. There's a lot of really attractive, like, women that are coming through here. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's some good-looking men too, from what I gather, but it's a good young crowd, and you know, we try and keep the rock and roll atmosphere going, and it's fun. Cheers. When you have a restaurant, you want everyone to love it from top to bottom. So I mean, you know, I'd love to hear someone say great things about the pasta, great things about the cocktails, great things about the service. I would love it if they went and said, you know, we had a great time. It's crazy to me. I'm like, people are here to enjoy what we've built. I mean, like, we did this. Like, it's fun. I mean, it's a good time.
Hells yeah!
So Alex, you say when it comes to great restaurants, Charlatan is not a pretender. Why'd you choose it?
I chose Charlatan because, well, I live in Westtown, so it's really easy to get to. Food is imaginative. You're never going to get exactly what you expect on any plate. The presentation's beautiful, and the staff there turns service into an art.
Great. So tell us a little bit about the food. They kind of described it as Midwest meets Italian, so what does that mean?
It's typical Italian fare. So, for example, you have spaghetti, but it's not going to be with a pesto using pine nuts and basil like they have in Italy. Instead, they use local kale and walnuts, which spices it up, turns it into something a little different.
Nice little twist on it. Well, Adam, what did you think?
That place is sexy. I'm sorry. That place is, you know, we go in, we're greeted by the guy at the door. I think he may have been the owner. He's all in black. He's got black rim glasses on and a black fedora.
Oh, yeah, I love that guy.
He is amazing. And he's like, welcome to Charlatan. And I looked at my three friends and I'm
Hi,
like,
Anthony.
we're going to have a great time. And I look around and it's the most beautiful people I've ever seen in my life. We're sitting there at dinner and I'm like, holy cow, everyone is beautiful here. This is really nice. And then I look at the cocktail menu and the first cocktail on the thing is Between the Sheets.
Yes.
And I'm like, I'll have that, please. What an experience. It was amazing. Thank you for recommending it. Everything that we ordered the burrata, we had the fritters. My favorite was actually the pepper rigatoni with that amazing...
With that boar.
Yeah, the boar ragu.
Yes.
And the service was impeccable. I loved it.
Great. Alicia, what about you?
So I like Charlatan. The service was great. I didn't meet the guy with the fedora at the time.
Oh, he was like a great welcome.
It was interesting because I was thinking of it being an Italian restaurant. So my initial thought was I was going to go in here and be able to order sausage and peppers and calamari. Now that they have the fried calamari, you have octopus on the menu, or
Which
maybe
is amazing.
I didn't try that, or like some chicken Vesuvio. But just explaining Midwestern meets Italian, I guess I now understand. So I went with my husband and we went on a Sunday. So I had their Sunday cut steak with a bordelaise sauce, which was phenomenal. The steak was cooked very well seasoned. I did a medium well. My husband tried the stuffed chicken breast. He loved it. We also tried the daily focaccia and the meatball. That meatball, they were not kidding when they said it has some spice because they had a little kick to it. And then we did like the dishes from the Sunday Steakhouse, which was the macaroni and cheese, to die for. And then we had the kind of the whipped mashed potatoes. You explaining, Alex, that it's the kind of the sourced ingredients with Italian now makes sense to me.
The thing that I think is really interesting about that is if you really look at Italian food, it's all about, true Italian food is about focusing on ingredients and what's the freshest you can get. So when you're sourcing regionally, he's actually staying truest to Italian, that Italian point of view by sourcing regionally, because that's what Italians do.
That makes absolute sense now that the Midwestern meets Italian, absolutely.
One of the things you mentioned, Adam, was the fritters, which I'd never had before until this last time I went, and I was really shocked with the honey in there. That gave it a really sweet flavor combined with the olives on the side.
Yeah, very good. And I liked the burrata. They had the beets that were in with it, so it was like a burrata beet salad. It was like a spin on bruschetta. It was fantastic.
Yeah, and shout out to the servers there. So when I went in, the servers were honest about the cocktails. I'm like, what do you think of this one versus this one? He's like, I think that one's a little less well balanced. I'm like, okay, so you're not just trying to push everything on the menu. You're actually going to tell me if there's something you don't really like as much as something else, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I ordered the civil obedience. I did not care for it, but after talking with I actually got some information. He said they use like herbal type of ingredients in their drink.
Is Amaro is a type of liqueur, so it's very bitter, usually made with herbs.
Yes.
And they have a whole program there where they actually use that in their cocktails. And if you don't like bitter,
and that's just kind of how it was with the drink.
Well, Adam, you're our resident artist today. What do you think of the decor?
I thought the decor was great. There was like a boar's head and like a bison head, which was kind of, very masculine, kind of like Gaston from like, Beauty and the Beast, you know what I mean? It was a really cool environment.
Well, Alex, you chose Charlatan. Sum it up for us.
For Midwestern comfort, meeting rustic Italian cooking, try Charlatan in Westtown.
Great. And Adam?
if you want a sexy place to go and still eat lots of pasta, that's the place to go.
Great. And Alicia?
I am going to sum that up as a Midwestern faux Italian restaurant with wholesome sourced ingredients, and would definitely go back.
Wonderful. You can try it for yourself at Charlatan, 1329 West Chicago Avenue, 312-818-2073. Open for dinner every night and brunch on Sunday. Reservations are accepted, and the average tab per person without drinks is $30. Thomas's Palace runs from cheap eats to fine dining. But when he wants beautiful bistro fare, he knows just where to go. He says for cheese, wine, and much more, make your way to Lakeview and pop into Bar Pastoral.
The Bar Pastoral is a very seasonally ingredient-driven place. The idea is it's a bistro, and it is reflecting the types of food you'll find all around the world. So yes, we have, of course, cheese and charcuterie, but then the sit-down dinner is sort of, what would we be serving you with that? What are the types of things? Cassoulet in wintertime, charred peach salad in the summertime, all sorts of amazing ingredients that really go back to our sweet spot. One of the reasons why people want to come here is because it's approachable. There's no attitude around food and wine, and we help you make it fun.
Hell yeah, Daddy!
So the whole idea is, try things. You can learn a little something, takes you out of your comfort zone. Yes, you're a Pinot drinker. Well, today you're going to try something else.
What's also really good is the alaje, the viognier. I'm a big fan of that.
The experience is part of the whole thing. It is how it makes you feel. It's how welcome you are. You learn something, meet new friends. So for us, it's exciting to watch that dynamic happen for others and for us to be part of it.
So Adam, you say Bar Pastoral is like a warm hug. Tell us why you chose it.
It is a warm hug. It's, every time I go there, I know I'm going to have a great experience. And I like bringing friends from out of town or new friends there because you're always going to try new wines, you're going to try new cheeses, you're going to have a seasonal menu with things that are good for that time of year. When the cheese plate comes, it's kind of like Christmas. It's like, that the waiter says, this is from the UK, and this is from Italy, and this is from France, and try the goat cheese with the preserve. And we're all like this, hovering over this beautiful plate of cheese and bread and meats. And you're like, let's try this with this, let's try this with this. And it just keeps the conversation going. Mm-hmm. So it's a place that I know that I'll always have a great time and have always a new experience. But it's always fun for me.
Okay, Adam, you're my new friend. But I did not love Bar Pastoral. It was okay for me. So we did do a cheese sample plate. Uh-huh. So we did the Speck Americano, which is prosciutto. And then we did 3 different cheeses. And what I'm going to say about cheese, I love cheese and I put it on everything. I must be used to the Americanized way of cheese because out of the 3 cheeses, we tried, I think one was called a Dorset, one was called a Grand Mere, and I forgot what the other one was. 2 of the cheeses were not of my palate. Okay. So I'm going to say the taste, it's like a fine cheese, and I'm not used to fine cheeses, so I did not love it. Now, our entrees, we had excellent. I had the lamb meatball.
Oh, yeah.
With the cream cheese and the sauce, and you kind of stir it up in the garlic bread. Phenomenal. My best friend had the macaroni with bacon. Again, phenomenal. And then my girlfriend, my coworker, she had the chicken thighs with the apricot and the couscous. Now, not a fan of chicken thighs. I like white meat. She loved it. She loved that fruit taste in it with the couscous. So the entrees were excellent, and they even said they do seasonal entrees, so not all the time
Right.
the same entrees are on the menu.
The first time I went there, they had this duck confit. And every time we come, they've taken it off the menu since then. And my partner and I are like, where is the duck confit? We sold us on the duck confit, and now you've taken it off. But yeah.
So I'm gonna say half glass of the wine, brilliant idea. The interior, gorgeous. I especially like the wine barrel fixture above the bar. Makes you feel like you're in the wine.
It's like almost like you're in France.
Yeah. Unfortunately, after that, I'm gonna have to break some bad news to you.
Oh no.
I had a horrible time there.
Oh no.
It was absolutely. So I walk in. We were seated. I waited over 15 minutes before my server came. When she showed up, she was like all over the place. She was like wild.
The same server.
No way.
It was horrid.
Oh, really?
So, she took our drink order, and then she was gone for like another 20 minutes. And the table next to us, there was another couple next to us. They had the exact same thing happen. They kept being like, "Where's our server?"
no.
And sort of our words for the night was, "Where's our server? Where's our drinks? Where's our food?"
Just with the waitress, I think we had the same one. I asked her what came in the grilled cheese, and she goes, "What kind of question is that?"
She said that?
And I'm just thinking, okay, well, you specialize in cheeses. It's not going to be Kraft.
What kind of
What kind of cheese? And
Yeah, it sounds like a service issue there. And I have to say, right now in Chicago, there's a huge demand. You know, we
Yes.
are just, as you guys know, because you're all restaurant lovers, just restaurants are opening every day, and there's a lot of competition for servers. And it's unfortunate because it can really change your dining experience. Like it sounds like it.
The last
did
4
for
times
you.
I've been there, we always have the same person to wait on us, who is the bartender, and he's also the waiter. He always just takes care of us. And you know what? For me, that's the whole reason I go to a restaurant, because it's like, you know what? He's going to take care of me, and I'm really sorry that you had that experience.
So let's just take that waitress out of the picture. Alicia, Alex, would you guys go back?
I would go back. I would try the brunch because I did look at their brunch menu as well. And then my 2 coworkers, they actually had a good experience and they love the up north vibe. So they would go back. It's not something I would probably necessarily travel to, but if I'm up that way, I would definitely try them again.
Yeah. Service aside, so at the very end, we did get the lamb meatballs, and they were delicious.
Yeah.
We got a cheese plate, loved it. We got both the basil, cucumber, and the sangria. We enjoyed both of those. And if you want to go and just try a ton of wines, those half glasses, definitely check out Bar Pastoral.
Yeah, it's not going to hit you over the head. It's not over the top Gouda. You're going to get it as a subtle flavor.
Greg O'Neill, who's one of the owners, he kind of is just the cheese guru, and not just here in the city, but on a much larger level. I mean, he was the chairman of the board of the American Cheese Society. He started American Cheese Month. You know, he knows his cheese. If you're a curd nerd, you kind of like worship, Greg O'Neill. Adam, you chose Bar Pastoral. Sum it up for us.
It's interactive dining, and you're going to have tried great new wines and great new cheeses and some wonderful seasonal food.
Great. And Alex?
For a fantastic wine and cheese experience in the heart of Lakeview, check out Bar Pastoral.
Great. And Alicia?
Good entrees, however, not a fan of the cheese and wine at this point, but definitely would try and go back for brunch.
You can check out the cheese at Bar Pastoral, 2947 North Broadway Street, 773-472-4781. Open for lunch on the weekends and dinner every night. Reservations are accepted, and the average tab per person without drinks is $25. So on this week's show, we featured Boston Fish Market in Des Plaines, Charlatan in Westtown, and Bar Pastoral in Lakeview. Let's recap what our guests had to say. First, we headed out to Des Plaines and checked out Boston Fish Market. Alicia recommends it for the massive portions of delicious seafood. Alex appreciated the Greek flair and thought the food was fantastic. Adam was blown away by the seafood and loved the diverse crowd. Next, we went to Chicago Avenue and visited Charlatan. Alex recommends it for an unexpected yet delicious Midwestern flair to Italian food. Alicia was surprised by the different take on Italian cuisine and would go back. Adam absolutely loved everything, from the food to the decor to the beautiful people. Lastly, we stopped on Broadway at Bar Pastoral. Adam recommends it for delicious wines and cheeses in a welcoming neighborhood spot. Alicia enjoys the entrees, but said the cheese plates just weren't for her palate. Alex didn't have great service, but liked the food. We had a fantastic time this week. I want to thank my guests, Alicia James, Alex Dravilas, and Adam Thomas. Join us next week for 3 new guests recommending 3 of their favorite restaurants right here on Check Please. I'm Catherine Diorio, and I'll see you then. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys.
So when are we all?
For more information about the restaurants featured on Check Please, go to WTTW.com/checkplease.